Hey guys, so it is Wednesday night. It's about 11 o'clock. Couldn't sleep, so I figured let me just get back to work on the STI. It's been a while since I've been on this garage. It's been cold, um, but I had a stack of parts here. I've already begun to open some of them. It's kind of been bugging me, and I kind of want to get her going by the springtime, or hopefully within the next few weeks, or maybe even a month. I do have all the parts. The only thing that's remaining is fabbing up the pipe, intercooler pipe that goes to the throttle body. So I need to clean up the garage as well. I've been working with the tunes on, but for copyright reasons I had to lower that. So I've already gone ahead and put in the cartboy main pulley. I went with that because it's lighter than stock, but not too light to a point where it's going to throw off the fact that I've got a light flywheel. And I've already unboxed the fans, the Mishimoto fans. I got rid of the stock. Figured that's probably going to be on its way up fairly soon, because this has 150,000 miles on those set of fans, so I might as well go new. I have pretty much everything else new on this thing, so I might as well make this thing last another 150. I do plan on driving her cross country throughout the next several years. So anyway, so what I'm going to be doing next is putting in the fans, and it uses 3 of these mounts, and there's 4 that you see down here. Let me see if I can get better lighting. So you have those 4 tabs with the holes in them. I believe that goes, if you had the stock fans, that would just kind of insert into, I think 2 of them. I forget. But for the Mishimoto, I'm only going to be using 3. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 of these, actually 3 of these tabs up top. I mean, I think it's this guy and that guy. So basically, slide it in. I'm not quite sure what this is for. I'm gonna guess it's for the stock overflow for the coolant. So I'm hoping that it's going to clear this pipe. And I also went ahead and put in the lower rad hose, because that was just covered in painter's tape to prevent from bugs getting in while she sat. So I'm going to go ahead and put the fans on, and this is the bracket, right, by the way, for the newer Mishimoto tank. So I'll get that going, and then after this I'll put in the coils and maybe even just call it a night. I just want to be able to kind of feel like I've done something, or I've progressed with this car. I have the fuel stuff I need to put in. I have the AOS. Like I said, the only thing I need to, I don't know if I've said this already, but I just need to work on the IC piping. I've got a buddy of mine who does some welding, but I'm not quite sure he does aluminum. So I'm going to need to have the piping route to the throttle body here. I may have to clear this area here, and I don't know if it's going to clear the ABS items. So, well, anyway, I'll try and see what I can get done this evening. I just want to give you guys a quick update on what's going on with the STI. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned it, but there's 2 connectors. There's one right over there, and there is another, if you guys can see it from over here, and that gray connector right there. And the fans, the Mishimoto fans, come with the connectors for them. So it's just 2 connectors at the bottom. So I got the fans in place, just got it bolted up, but kind of curious as to where this thing goes. This came with the Mishimoto radiator, but as you can see, there's actually no room, and there's no place to mount it. the hose doesn't line up for this bracket on this tank, and you got the IC pipe coming up there. So I'm not quite sure. I don't know if they sent me the wrong fan or what, but I don't quite know where this is gonna end up going. So you guys can see there's actually not even any room. So not sure what's going on here. So I'm gonna have to just set this aside and do some research. Maybe call up Mishimoto. But I did go ahead and open up the box for the coils. There's 4 coils. Not quite sure what else I ordered here. Oh, these are the oil control valves. I got 2 of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and install these, connect the connectors, and then I'll probably call it a night. I was kind of disappointed where this doesn't really work well with that coolant that was given to me. I would figure that Mishimoto fan and Mishimoto red with that tank would somehow fall into place, but I guess not. So I need to, like I said, do some research, and I need to jack up the car to be able to get to bolt up the bottom mount to the fans. But I don't want to bolt them up yet because I'm not quite sure even if I have the right set of fans. Okay, well, I guess I'll do the coils and the oil control valves and call it a night. Hey guys, so it is the following Saturday, and just another update. I'm not sure if I already talked about this, but I put on a plug on the downpipe. The previous owner had an AFR gauge connected to this with a sensor, and I don't know why he did what he did, but what he did was he welded the O2 sensor to that port, and I'm to that bung, and I'm gonna assume because he most likely messed up the thread on this O2, so it wasn't kind of, actually, yeah, looks like he might have cross-threaded or destroyed the thread on that sensor, and so to keep it from coming loose, he welded it. So I had to Dremel it out and plug the bung. Picked up today a new gasket because I couldn't find the old gasket. I might as well anyway. Probably best to change out the gasket on that. So also I found out that the studs that I had gotten from Suru, that was about $7 each. Where are they? I think I have it in the basement. But those studs aren't the right thread pitch, so kind of wasted that. I don't think I can return it because I don't know if I have the receipts. So I need an M10 by 1.5 studs on there. So I couldn't find it in any auto stores today, so I'm going to have to order them. But in the meantime, I do have bolts that'll work. I'm just not quite sure whether this is good enough to withstand the heat. I'd like to think so, but let me just go grab an exhaust stud specific for that application, because it can tend to get hot, and if I ever have to remove the downpipe again, I don't want to run the risk of shearing that bolt and having to drill out that bolt from that hot side of that turbo. Now, ran into a problem. I went to grab the gaskets, or the turbo manifold gasket, along with this stock expansion tank, because I was thinking that this is what I was going to need, but unfortunately this doesn't fit either. So as you can tell, and it's blocking the IC pipe down below. So this is way too thick, and unfortunately I'm gonna have to go back and drive another hour to return that, and they close within the next hour, so I got to get moving. But I just kind of wanted to give you a heads up on that. And I think I might have already mentioned that the Mishimoto one that came with the rad doesn't fit as well. Well, it comes with a bracket that doesn't fit because this is way too out. And I think I might have already showed that. But so what I might do is take the Mishi bracket that's found that you would normally bolt onto here, and this is for the older version of the STI, which I think you need this to mount up the bumper, but I'm going to use that for, see if I could do this in one hand. I'm going to use this as a bracket to mount that that tank. So I'm going to see if I can grab that bolt, mount it like that, and take this. Well, I don't think I can do it with one hand, but and so it's basically going to sit like this. So just gonna have to run a longer hose from that port right here to the tank, or if I can, because I gave my slim one to Jacob. I'm not even sure if he's using it. If he's not using it, I'm gonna grab it back because I'm pretty sure it's gonna fit here. Let's gotta make sure that it doesn't interfere with this intercooler piping. Of course, that goes up right to the turbo. So let me go head back to the dealership and return this. Hopefully I can return it and not be charged a restocking fee. It's not open, so it should be, I shouldn't have any problems with that. And I think maybe while I'm there, I might as well go grab some Subaru coolant, so that I can start filling her up, and power steering fluid as well. Might as well do that. I still got to change the oil on the EcoBoost. I should do that today. I'm gonna try to. I need to visit my daughter in her dorm tomorrow. I think it's supposed to snow today. I'm gonna see if the roads are clear. I'm gonna take the NS Xtra for a drive. It's about a 6-hour round trip. Just to have a little bit of fun. I don't think she's been in this car yet. So anyway, all right. So let me get going, and I will update you soon enough. Okay, guys, it's a Saturday, March 4th. I don't know what I covered in the last video, but I'll just do a quick recap. I didn't get an opportunity to finish off the pile of parts that I have for the STI to complete the STI. Yeah, and when I mean complete, I'd say about maybe 95% of it, because I still have to deal with the intercooler piping with the intake manifold. And the reason for the holdup is I sized the wrong injectors for the AMS intake manifold. So I had to do an exchange, thanks to FIC for being open to the exchange. So I'm waiting for those to come in. Should come in this coming week, and once I do that, it should domino effect on what I can install. Do the fuel rail, do the manifold, bolting the manifold, do the lines, the FPR, the AOS, what else? And I do need to get new O2 sensors. So I think it's about $500 for the two O2 sensors, one that connects to the up pipe and then one that connects to the mid pipe. So I'll get that ordered as soon as I get the injectors. One other thing too, which I failed to mention, is I have this slimmer tank. I'll just get some paint removal on this thing and get it back to the polished look, because she looks like she's somewhat worn, and figure out a way to mount this, because this is the only AST that's going to, well, overflow tank that's going to go here. So that's the update on the STI. But today we are going to be installing the test pipe for the NSX just to get a little bit more of an exhaust sound on her. She's way too quiet for my taste. I don't know if we'll lose a little bit of the low end to mid-range torque because of it, but I would assume definitely we'll gain a little bit on the top end. I mean, it's not much. I mean, the NSX stock form is already at this peak, and I don't know if you can squeeze in any more horsepower with the stock setup, but at the very least, just to make it sound better on acceleration. So I will. It's pretty windy today, so I'm not going to put the camera outside because you'll probably just hear wind. All right, here's the cold start. Okay, so I got the NSX all jacked up so that I can get easy access for the cats, but I am concerned because I took a quick look, and let me see if I can get underneath there and show you guys. So, so this is the first cat, second cat that's going to get the test pipe. You got to remove the shields to be able to get to the flanges. The only thing that I'm concerned about is, I don't know if you guys can see that. See if I can maybe get it closer. You see how that seems like it's kind of part of the flange? I'm hoping that that's just the way it is, and it's just a bolt that you got to unscrew from the other side. But yeah, this might not be a quick job. Hoping that you know my history with bolts, hoping none of them shear off while I'm trying to torque them out. So the way to remove these heat shields is basically a bunch of 10mm bolts, and so I'm not sure if I want to tackle this right now. Okay guys, this is following day, Sunday morning. I really did not have the patience yesterday to proceed with the install because of the rusted bolts, or the rusted nuts, I should say. So what I did this morning is I went through, besides picking up the oil stuff I need for the oil change on the truck, on the EcoBoost, I went ahead and picked up a propane, or is this butane, I forget, torch, so that I can heat up the nuts. But in the meantime, what I'll do that later this evening, but I'll throw some penetrating oil on the nuts first and let that soak in and see if I can just be able to at least crack those nuts. I'm sorry. At least crack those nuts just using the penetrating oil. So I'll let that soak throughout the day and see where we can go from there.